The night of April 26, 1986, settled over Pripyat like a gentle blanket. Within its quiet apartments, dreams unfolded, innocent and undisturbed. A young boy, Sergei, slept beside his mother, Irina, their world a haven of warmth and ordinary peace. This was Pripyat, a city born of ambition, a jewel of Soviet progress. Its people lived lives filled with promise, unaware that their vibrant world stood on the precipice of an unimaginable abyss. They slept while destiny stirred. Miles away, in the heart of the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant, a different kind of night unfolded. The rhythmic hum of machinery filled the control room of Reactor number 4. Engineers, focused and precise, were conducting a safety test, a routine procedure that felt anything but routine. But in the control room, a different kind of tension simmered. Deputy Chief Engineer Anatoly Dyatlov, driven by an unyielding resolve, demanded more. He pushed for increased power, his voice cutting through the hum of machinery, overriding the quiet anxieties of his team. First Engineer Leonid Topchinov, his face etched with concern, highlighted the reactor's unstable power. He voiced his warnings, his pleas for caution, but they were met with Dyatlov's unwavering insistence. The test, he declared, would continue. A low, growing rumble began to emanate from the reactor's core. It was a sound that started subtly, then deepened, a mechanical growl that spoke of immense, contained power struggling against its bonds. The air itself seemed to thicken with an unspoken dread. Then, in an instant, the world fractured. A blinding blue flash erupted from the reactor core, followed by a deafening explosion that tore through the very fabric of the building. A violent shockwave ripped through the control room, a force beyond comprehension. Chaos reigned. Debris rained down. Lights flickered wildly, then died, plunging the room into a terrifying semi-darkness. Engineers were thrown, disoriented, their minds struggling to grasp the impossible. The horrifying realization echoed through the shattered space. The reactor, it's gone. Minutes later, the impossible became terrifyingly real. The reactor core, once a symbol of controlled power, was a gaping wound in the earth. It spewed flames and radioactive debris into the night sky, illuminated by an ethereal, deadly blue glow. In Pripyat, the explosion had shaken the city from its slumber. Residents emerged from their homes, drawn by the commotion, by the strange, beautiful light in the distance. Young Sergei, awakened by the tremor, pointed to the sky, his innocent voice calling it fireworks. His mother, Irina, stood beside him, her gaze fixed on the distant glow, oblivious to the true nature of the spectacle. They watched, mesmerized, as their world began to unravel. The residents of Pripyat, the children, the families, stood under a sky that was silently poisoning them. They were unaware, utterly ignorant, of the invisible, deadly dust that was already settling upon their homes, their lives, their future. As dawn broke, a grim reality settled over the control room. Surviving engineers surveyed the devastation, their faces pale with shock and radiation sickness. High radiation levels screamed from the Geiger counters, yet Dyatlov, weakened and in denial, could only manage a faint command: call the fire brigade. At 6:30 a.m., the first fire crews arrived. Vladimir Pripyat led his men, brave and resolute, into the inferno. They were equipped for a conventional fire, not an atomic one, utterly unaware of the invisible radioactive danger that clung to every breath, every surface. These were the first heroes, running towards a threat they could not see, could not comprehend. They battled the blaze with courage born of duty, sacrificing themselves in a fight they were destined to lose, their names etched into the silent history of that day. By noon, an eerie quiet had descended upon Pripyat. A hazy, gray sky hung over the city, a subtle shroud of poison. Children played in the parks, their laughter echoing through the streets, oblivious to the silent, deadly threat that permeated the very air they breathed. Meanwhile, Behind closed doors, officials huddled in frantic meetings. The priority was not the people, but the containment of information. They debated, they delayed, they denied, fearing panic more than the invisible killer that was already claiming lives. Evacuation was postponed, a catastrophic decision born of political expediency. As the afternoon wore on, the struggle continued at the plant. The fire raged, an unyielding beast. The firefighters, their faces burned, their skin blistered, fought on, their bodies absorbing lethal doses of radiation with every passing minute. Their heroism was a silent scream against the indifference of fate. But even in the darkest hours, humanity found its light. At 4 p.m., a new mission, a suicide mission, was proposed. Alexei Ananenko, Valery Bespalov, and Boris Baranov volunteered. Their task: to drain the water tanks beneath the reactor, preventing a second, even more catastrophic explosion. Ananenko spoke of family, of country, of the ultimate sacrifice. With grim determination, they descended into the radioactive water, knowing that every step brought them closer to an agonizing end. Their courage was a beacon in the encroaching darkness. These were the ultimate heroes, the men who walked into the jaws of death to save millions. Their names, though often forgotten, represent the pinnacle of human selflessness, a testament to the extraordinary lengths ordinary people will go to protect their world. As the sun began to set, a new army arrived. The liquidators, thousands strong, began the monumental cleanup. Dressed in rudimentary protective suits, they toiled tirelessly, removing debris, burying contaminated materials, their faces grim, their resolve unwavering. 36 agonizing hours after the explosion, the order finally came. Buses lined the streets of Pripyat, an endless convoy of escape. Residents boarded, carrying what little they could, their faces a mix of confusion, fear, and a dawning understanding of their irreversible loss. The city emptied, its vibrant life draining away with each departing bus. Pripyat became a ghost town, a silent monument to a shattered dream, haunted by the echoes of laughter and the whispers of a past that would never return. The aftermath was a stark tableau of devastation and resilience. Contaminated playgrounds stood silent. Empty apartments held the ghosts of forgotten lives. Exhausted liquidators, their bodies ravaged, continued their grim work. Radiation's toll manifested in sickness and sorrow. Yet amidst it all, new life, tenacious and fragile, began to emerge in the exclusion zone. The story of Chernobyl is a haunting melody, a melancholic score that speaks of loss and the enduring spirit. It is a symphony of human error, sacrifice, and the relentless march of time. Today, the Chernobyl exclusion zone stands as a stark reminder. Overgrown Pripyat, reclaimed by nature, whispers tales of a bygone era. The reactor, encased in its new sarcophagus, a monument to human ingenuity and folly, silently guards its deadly secret. Chernobyl is more than a tragedy. It is a profound lesson. It reminds us of life's fragility, of the perilous dance with unchecked power, and of the extraordinary resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. It is a story that demands to be remembered. Decades later, adult Sergei stands in his childhood apartment, the dust of time thick on the floor. He looks out the window, his gaze fixed on the distant horizon, remembering the fireworks of that fateful night. The memory is vivid, a scar on his soul. His voice, now older, carries the weight of generations. "We lost everything," he says, his words a quiet echo in the empty room. "But we never forgot. We could never forget." Chernobyl's whispers continue to resonate, a powerful reminder of our past and a warning for our future. What part of this story impacted you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video if you found this journey compelling. Subscribe to our channel for more stories that delve into the major events that shaped our world. Let us continue to learn, to remember, and to reflect.